What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the DoubleTrouble Podcast. It has been a while. I am non-gaming, joined by the great, powerful, awesome Bunny. And we're going to talk wokeism today. We're talking wokeism, specifically Disney wokeism. And the topic is, when Disney went woke, Disney went broke. Now, before we get into it, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much. Definitely check me out on Twitch as I stream Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Thank you all so much. Bunny, you have topics galore, but I think there's a lot.
Let's start off. Let's sectionize them. All right. We'll start off with Star Wars. We're both Star Wars fans. You know, we love Star Wars. And then I was very excited about The Force Awakens.
Right.
When it was announced, I was like, yes, you know, it looks good and all that. And then I happened to watch the damn thing. Now, look, don't get me wrong. Again, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. My issue is, if we take into history Princess Leia, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, they all had their strengths. They all had their weaknesses.
And that's what makes the characters great. Honestly.
And everyone had to build up to it.
Right.
It took Luke Skywalker bloody 3 movies to become a proper Jedi.
Right. It took Han Solo like 3 movies to actually start trusting people and actually realize the type of person he was, right?
Yeah. But then comes The Force Awakens, and all of a sudden, the character of Rey apparently is the jack of all trades. She knows how to fix the Millennium Falcon, and bloody fly the damn thing, even though she's never sat in it. Smooth flying. And my issue was, there was a scene in the beginning, you know, when they show Finn, and they got Kylo Ren stops and looks at him.
Right.
There was that kind of sign that there's something more to Finn.
Yeah.
But it ended up being nothing. And everyone else just ended up being a side character.
And you know, the problem
was all about Rey. Rey knew how to fly the Falcon. Rey knew how to do everything. Rey knew how to fix problems. I'm sure if the toilet was flushing and it was having issues, I'm sure Rey would be there to fix that.
And you see, the thing is with Star Wars is the fact that every character, like we're talking like the original trilogy, the first 3 movies, and we'll even go episodes 1, 2, and 3. It wasn't just based on one character. It wasn't based on Luke. It wasn't based on Leia. It wasn't based on Han. Even like in the newer movies, like the 2000, you know, like episode 1, 2, 3, it wasn't just based on Anakin, although they were building up to that. Yeah. But it was based on that whole story of how Anakin became Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And
everyone played an important role. Obi-Wan Kenobi played an important role. He had his own thing going on.
Qui-Gon
it was like everyone had an important part to play.
Right.
Whereas here, everything was just leading to Rey, you know, and that's what I think. It's like there was no struggle there.
No.
It's like,
and that's the thing about with the movie, with most movies, TV shows, you want the character to have an issue. You want them to have an issue because you want to see them build them up and you want to see them conquer that issue. It's no good. You want to relate to them. It's the same thing with games and things like that. You want the main character to have some sort of flaw because you want to relate to them. It's human nature. We want to relate to them. Now, if a character comes along and is perfect, how can you relate to them? And okay, before people start saying to me, well, you're a Christian, you know, I know. Okay, you're going to bring Jesus into this. You're going to bring Jesus into this. But no, we're talking human factor, right?
Yeah.
Human factor, you see a person who is perfect as a human, you're not going to relate to them. It would be in fact,
there's resentment that comes up.
Right. It would be very kind of awkward in a sense, because I'm a big Days Gone fan, if Deacon was just this perfect character.
Yeah.
I mean, game is awesome, but if Deacon was just that perfect character with no flaws, no nothing, I wouldn't find the game engaging. Why would I? And it's the same thing with the Star Wars. If Rey's perfect, who's going to relate to her?
No one, and that's why not a lot of people did.
No,
people were just in the euphoria that it was the Star Wars. You know, it was the Star Wars saga. Everyone's in one way or another. We've all seen the Star Wars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even number 1, which was considered,
the worst.
Yeah, but it was still a hit. Financially, it was a huge hit.
Oh, for sure, because it's the whole beginning of the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, I think just this is where I feel like Disney started getting the cracks in their solid wall.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to the second journey of this, woke broke part. Let's take the very, very popular, the absolute gigantic, the enigma, Marvel.
Oh, yes.
From their first Iron Man, because we're not taking Blade, we're not taking all those starters. They were there, but we're talking about the whole new phase that started.
The MCU universe.
Yeah. Since Iron Man all the way up to Endgame, you can think that every single character played an important role.
It was fantastic to
Yeah.
actually see all these build-ups. You had Iron Man 1, 2, I think 3. You saw build-ups. So
Yes.
when the actual Avengers movie came along, you weren't surprised.
No.
Because you realized what Tony had went through in Iron Man, the only one you think you really weren't surprised was Black Widow. But because she was added on to that movie. But you saw Thor 1 and Thor 2, and you saw these movies. You were not surprised. So when Avengers came along, it's an hour and a half long, one of my favorite movies, actually.
Yeah.
Everything
It
kind
was
of clicked
perfect.
in.
I mean, I consider it to be perfect because there was flaws in these superheroes. They weren't getting along. There was flaws. There was always someone trying to one up, like the banter between Captain America and Iron Man.
Right. Or even Thor and Hulk.
There was that banter between each other, and it made it so perfect. Even Black Widow, like you said, you picked up on a good one. What I liked about Black Widow was that they built her up from movie to movie as a strength, and not as someone who just knows everything straight away. They built her up.
To be fair, Black Widow is hot, though.
There's no question about that.
But the thing is, too, is same with Clint, Hawkeye.
Yeah.
You get a glimpse of him in Thor.
Yeah.
And then you don't really see him too much until Avengers.
And even in Avengers, he was more of a side in the back.
But he still had a pretty important
role. He was immediately, hypnotized and all that.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, his character, if you think about it, let's take, Hawkeye. He became more prominent in Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yes.
And then in Civil War, he had a smaller role. Right. Infinity War, he was missing. But then in Endgame, he was right there.
Right.
Because he became the Ronin.
Right. And that's the thing, too, is that he had smaller roles, but he played important parts.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
So, like all these movies that are leading up, and one of my favorite is probably Civil War.
Yep.
Because it is so neat to see all these characters, again, building up. You got Ant-Man, you got Spider-Man that finally pops in. You got all these different characters that actually popped up, and they build up these characters. It wasn't just a matter of... There's a reason why Captain America and Iron Man were fighting, and it wasn't just a matter of...
There wasn't power, and power wasn't even anything to do with it. It wasn't like I'm strong or you're strong. No, it was a genuine flaw, which Captain America saw, and I'm Team Cap, by the way. So Captain America saw that flaw, that if we sign up to the Sokovia Accords, we are run by the government. And him fighting that corrupt government, which was taken over by Hydra, had the full rights. Iron Man was looking at the emotional side of it because he had just been, emotionally attacked by someone's mom who died in that one. So it was more like emotion versus, realistic, I would say.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it. It wasn't power. Like, it wasn't like, I'm stronger, you're stronger, I'm going to take over, I'm the leader. No, it was, you know what? You're breaking up the Avengers? No, you're breaking up the Avengers. Both of them had their views.
And both of them were not wrong. That's the thing.
No, definitely.
Both of them had different...
but Iron Man was wrong with
But the point is, like,
we'll get to that in another video. But now, you know what? Like I said, everything led up to this amazing. You know what? And I feel sad for our future generations that they won't get to experience Endgame or Infinity Wars in the cinema like how we did.
Yes,
packed,
there
crazy,
is something,
laughing, clapping, crying.
There was something so the theater shook.
Yeah,
when we watched Endgame,
it was majestic.
Yeah, it was just like you saw these characters from Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers and all these characters kind of come in together.
But then, even then, they weren't enough for Thanos. That's the beauty of Infinity Wars. Even then, because the whole split, and that's where the continuity was so perfect. Now, let's now start with I would say the chink or the clink in the armor of Marvel, which was Captain Marvel. My honest opinion, this movie became a huge hit was because it came between Infinity War and Endgame. People thought this was going to link each other.
For sure.
That was the craze that got people to rush to theater, watch Captain Marvel, and, it made that money. Because review-wise, it didn't do that good.
No.
Again, the issue in this one was you got a non-superhero, suddenly gets powers, but then it's kind of adapting to them very easily.
Yeah. It wasn't like, what was that movie that I really do love with Benedict Chamberlain? Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange,
if you haven't seen the movie, definitely check it out. But he loses the ability to use his hands,
mm-hmm.
and then he gets sort of this. He works at getting this power.
Yes.
He begins to learn how to use this power.
He struggles, but he does it.
He struggles. I mean, the whole end of the whole movie is him fully using his power.
Yeah.
Of Dormammu, I like to bargain, and he gets killed. Then he comes back again. It's a time thing. Keep going.
And I used to love that scene. Dormammu.
So do I.
Dormammu. I used to be like,
Dormammu. But the thing was that it wasn't just a matter of like he's in the movie for 10 minutes, bang, he's got all his powers, and he's like super duper, right?
Yeah.
It took him the whole movie, and then you saw how powerful he actually was when you saw him in other movies.
Correct.
So I don't really like this whole idea of like a character gets the powers within about 10 minutes of the movie or half hour and knows how to do everything.
Exactly.
I absolutely hate that because, again,
that's where I feel like the clink in the armor came in.
Yeah.
Now, then came I would call one of the best movies made, which was Endgame. We were happy. We cried. We all got upset at Iron Man. And all that, everything happened. So I say that was the end of the saga for me. Because then Marvel started their phase 4, or what I like to call the phase wokeism.
Yeah.
This is where everything started going downhill for Marvel.
Yeah.
And / Disney. Marvel started bringing out
horrible movies.
Characters.
Horrible movie.
Horrible movie. Let's start off with Thor. Thor 4.
Yeah.
So you had Natalie Portman, who previously kicked Marvel, spit on Marvel, said, I'm not going to have anything to do with this, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, you bring her back as Lady Thor, and she's got Mjolnir because she had cancer, and she's worth it?
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Natalie Portman, but that story was wrong. That was not a good way to bring back the character.
Yeah.
The character of Jane and Thor works well.
Yeah.
That was not a good way of bringing her back. Not at all. Because you kind of just brushed off the other movies.
And it was also very disliked. I mean, people watched it because it was, it was in the end.
Yeah.
And there was talks of Guardians of the Galaxy being in there. And even Chris Hemsworth, look, he had fun in, Ragnarok. He had fun, but there was also a serious element to him. In this one, Love and Thunder, he was a complete joke.
Yeah.
Like what made Thor wasn't, it was completely missing. And every time I saw Lady Thor, it just, I don't know, I cringed because it didn't, like, she knew how to use the hammer. Everything was fine. Like, she could do everything. Like, it's like, so why do we bother watching Thor 1, 2, 3?
You just took the words right out of my mouth. What's the point of watching all the other Thor movies?
Yeah. Then let's go into Black Panther.
Yeah.
Number 1. Oh my goodness, what a movie. Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P., but what a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. My question to you is, yes, I get it. Chadwick Boseman was Black Panther.
Oh, for sure.
But we've recasted so many people in the past.
Yeah.
Blade's being recasted. Well, if it's going to happen or not, we don't know.
Well, we'll get into that here in a sec, but yeah.
Yeah. But you get what I mean. Officially in 2018 or 19 or 20, Marshall Ali had been pronounced as a new Blade. Whether that's going to happen or not, it doesn't matter. But the fact that it was pronounced, they could have, either given it to Michael B. Jordan that somehow he survived and he takes up the mantle because he feels guilty. They could have bloody recasted it. But what they went was they showed him that he died because of a disease. And you know what? Now it's a whole complete story that makes no sense whatsoever. And Shuri is now the Black Panther. And again, the only reason this, in my opinion, again, these are my opinion and this is, none's opinions. I feel Black Panther got to that success because of memory of Chadwick Boseman.
Yes, because I'm going to be honest here with you. I didn't watch Black Panther when it first came out. I watched it because of Chad.
Yeah.
Because I liked him. I thought he did the part well in Civil War or Civil War. Yeah, Civil War. Sorry. I thought I wanted to watch more of him.
Yes.
And he did a great job.
He was fantastic. Look, I've seen a lot of his movies. The guy, again, I say this from whole heart, rest in peace.
Yeah.
His acting was so subtle and so beautiful. Like he was in, he was the main lead in 42, like, all about the slavery and how the first black man in baseball, stuff like that. And the whole way, when he took up a character, it just felt so, and the acting was so good.
42 was an excellent movie
Black Panther to the bone.
Yeah, and 42 was a good movie too because
exactly
he played that part like.
But then what do? They turn Black Panther: Rise of Wakanda into wokeism of Wakanda. I want to say because it made, like I said, the whole story. I'm sitting there thinking like, and this is me sitting there trying to understand the hell am I watching?
Yeah.
All right,
it's almost. And we're kind of like going to be switching here, but it reminds me a lot of Black Adam with The Rock. And I know you're.
I like
big
that
fan.
movie.
You're a big fan. I didn't mind it. You're a big fan of it. But here's the problem I kind of had with it was, again, from personal perspective, I like to relate to a character. When I watch a movie, I want to be able to relate to a character in any sort of facet. I could not relate to him. Mm-hmm. He was just, like, for me, Black Adam was just a dick. You know what I mean? Like,
he's supposed to be. But the thing, I get what you're saying. But see, the thing is, Black Adam is supposed to be a gray shaded character. I feel like Dwayne Johnson or The Rock played him a little bit too good.
Yes.
Like, they showed him like he was still more good than bad. Like they're trying to show him as a hero when he's not. He's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
I think it became way more, what I need to show off that I am The Rock.
Yeah.
Rather than what Black Adam really is.
Right. And that's where we kind of have another issue with it as well.
Yeah.
Because wasn't like.
We're at Marvel, we're not at DC.
Okay.
So, and no bantering The Rock. But yeah, no. And like I said, then we move on to what I would call the best TV show Marvel's ever made, which is She-Hulk.
I was going to say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
If you didn't catch that sarcasm,
yeah. I know.
By any chance, if you haven't seen this show, look, what are you guys doing? You need to go watch it.
I will say this one thing before we bash the show. Daredevil coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was wasted.
It was. That's the problem. It was.
Let's just break down the wokeism in this show.
Hold on. This guy is so good as Daredevil. Is
there in the first episode, and his blood gets into his cousin's blood, and she becomes the She-Hulk. Guess what? Within 5 minutes of that happening, she's a better Hulk than he is. She's whooping his ass and making him look like he's a second fiddle character. Yeah. There's a twerking scene in this where the She-Hulk is twerking. She's an attorney and she's twerking. And
I remember seeing that. Yeah, and I thought, oh my God.
My question is, what the hell were they smoking? Was it outdated or was it just like, you know what? It's Marvel. I'm sure it'll become a huge hit. Was that the mentality behind this?
Let's be honest here. The premise of the idea of She-Hulk is interesting. Like the premise of it. Absolutely. Of her being a lawyer. Absolutely. It's kind of weird, not gonna lie, but it is interesting. But the whole show is just
They could have made something so much better. They could, like, again, my first reaction when I saw that first episode and I saw her just manhandling, the Hulk, I was like, what the hell? And it's just because to show her as a strong character. No, what you did is you pissed people off because people have invested their time and life, I would say, in the Hulk. We've been part of his journey from, well, I don't know, should we mention the previous two actors before Ruffalo joined?
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, there you go. Eric Bana, shout out, and then what do you call it, Edward Norton, and then
but even before then, like even the TV
and then
show.
all of a sudden, this 5-minute turned She-Hulk is suddenly more stronger than him, and she's a better Hulk. And then we talk about like gender equality. Well, you're just flush that shit down the toilet right there in that literally that 5 minutes.
What the whole thing is? You know what they're doing? And here's the thing that they're doing. The whole thing is it's been advertised on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and all this thing that they're strong, independent women, that they don't need no men. And that's what they went with. To prove that
but do it properly.
Right, but they're trying to show She-Hulk is so powerful, so great, she doesn't need no man. And in order to prove that she's a strong, independent woman, what does she do? She beats the hell out of Hulk.
Which again, and what happened there? Every single, I would say, shout out to all the lovely ladies out there, independent, everyone. Even they hated the shit out of this.
Yes, they did.
Because that's not what they want. That's misrepresentation of what an independent, strong woman is.
It would be like, I'm going to go gaming here for a little sec. It would be like Ellie from The Last of Us beating the hell out of Joel. It would be like that.
Which would never happen, but yeah.
No. But, exactly, it would never happen.
Yeah.
So, why would you do this in a TV show?
But that's the thing. And this is where the issue started happening. And this started becoming a very regular trend in all Marvel films and shows where, look, you have so many independent
everything was going down.
Let's jump to DC for a second. When the first Wonder Woman movie came out, that was such an amazing movie.
Yes.
That was done so proper. There was struggle. She was working her way up, and it wasn't until the war scene, the middle of the movie, where she actually shows her power off. It wasn't like, straight away she's there to fix it. She's the bloody Jesus of everybody. No, she took her time, took that effort, and like I said, near the middle of the movie, that's where Wonder Woman becomes Wonder Woman.
Right. Even though people have kind of hated on it, I really think I do like it. Batman versus Superman.
Mm-hmm.
It's still like, okay, there's some criticism. Same with the other one, the other Batman. What other movie that was? The one with Ben Affleck. It was a group.
Justice League?
Thank you. Even Justice League was not... It wasn't the greatest.
I would say the Josh Whedon one was horrible, but the Snyder one was actually... It actually got me invested into it.
Right. So the Josh Whedon one wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
But there's a reason, though. I mean, the thing is, Snyder was building up this more darker tone because Christopher Nolan's Batman was dark. So DC went down that route, and all of a sudden...
Can you imagine, hold on a second, can you imagine if they went the Joe Schumacher route and having the bright colored Batman for the
with the nipples?
League? Yes, the bat nipples and the bat credit card.
The bat nipples, razor edge nipples that will cut through justice.
Can you imagine if that was in the Justice League?
That would be an epic. I would watch that shit.
I would watch it, but boy, would it bomb.
I actually think it would be the biggest hit. And like every punch they go, it goes, pow, ka-chow. Superman's eye laser.
But let's get back to Marvel.
All jokes aside, like I said, with Marvel, this is phase 4 screwed them over so badly.
Yeah.
It took them how many years now? Deadpool. It was 2019 where Endgame came out, wasn't it?
Something like that. Yeah, I think
2019 or 2020. It took them 5 years to get out of this shithole. And that was Deadpool versus Wolverine that got them out. Where, guess what? No wokeism shit.
No, genuine. Boy, did they come? Did they come close though to losing, like, to almost shutting down Marvel? Like they came very close.
They were
A lot of
losing
people-
money. The
lot of
House
people
of
were-
Mouse was almost the House of Broke.
Yeah, a lot of people said, "Oh, Disney would never run out of money." No, they were running out like fast.
They were coming out with TV shows left and right just to keep their Disney Plus running.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there was quantity, not quality. Movies were becoming the same tone.
Yeah.
We think we know what independent woman is, which is wrong.
Yeah, but you know what you said, Wolverine, Deadpool, and Wolverine. I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm going to this weekend, but I've seen a lot of the cameos of what's involved here. And here's the thing: when you actually look at it, and I saw it, when you see the original Elektra from Jennifer Gardner, the original Blade of Wesley Snipes, and the new Gambit,
Which was epic.
It was epic. I'm kind of excited to see what they do with these characters. I really am.
That's
Now,
the concern. I'm actually concerned, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think this was just a shout out more than
I
anything
hope
else.
not. I hope they do.
Exactly. I'm sure there's millions of people that want to see more of this.
Yeah.
But look, you know what? Let's get to the last part of Disney's, screwism, which is the House of the Mouse itself. Disney movies. We won't rant about this too long. Just a quick one.
Snow White.
Their influence on Marvel also came into their animation movies and real life adaptations. Mulan, bloody, what was the latest one? We're going to talk about Snow White in just 1 second. So everyone, stay tuned for that rant. That's going to start in just 1 minute from now on. But they came out with Mulan. They came out with I don't know how many real life adaptations. Oh, Aladdin. All of a sudden, Jasmine has her own scene where she wants to be independent. Like, where the hell was that in the movie?
Yeah, where the hell is that in the cartoon?
Why do you need to shit that stuff in? It's like a whole song, and I'm sitting there
I
like,
said it before with Aladdin. 2/3 of the movie is fine. It's that last third.
out of nowhere. Just like, how do we make this film more? Oh, you know what? Let's just add the Disney's contract clause of we need to put something woke into this.
I am I'm really annoyed with this whole ending too. They had to give Genie a love interest.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
What was the need of that? But now let's get to the last one, which really I feel is the biggest dagger that's been spit into us by Marvel, which is the Snow White live action.
Rachel,
first and foremost, what the hell is wrong with this lovely, young lady who's got this golden opportunity? Have you seen her interviews? She's bashing the classical thing that started it all. Snow White is known for her motherly love. What did she say?
She was.
We're not going to be focusing on. We're a progressive story. Well, get the progress out of here then. That's not what Snow White is for. She was a mother. She loved her dwarves like children. First and foremost, the dwarves weren't even going to be dwarves. They were going to be magical creatures because apparently it's incorrect.
Yeah, and that really kind of annoyed me because you know what the whole problem was and I liked the guy, but the guy who did Tyrion Lannister, I forgot his name. But he was an advocate for dwarves should not just have dwarf parts.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, though. Like, okay, fine, understandable. I got you. You want other role, perfectly fine. But here's the thing: when it's called Snow White, the original movie's called Snow White, and the 7 goddamn dwarfs, you don't want to hire. Don't get magic creatures or something like that. You actually
and then
get
what do they do
dwarves.
in the end, my friend? They put bloody animation dwarfs into this. But what's pissing me off is the lead actress, Rachel, whatever her name is going around and bashing everything as if, she's God's gift to to Disney. She's sat there and said, oh, you know what? Snow White's going to be about her struggles, her progress and everything. What? Bloody, it was never an animation movie. It's not the 2024 movie. It's an classic movie.
And I'm gonna mention a movie that everyone should actually go out and watch. There's 2 actually. One. It is called, I think it's called Once Upon a Time. And they did Snow White well there.
They did, yeah.
And they did the dwarves well there.
Well, correct.
Yeah, and Julia Roberts as the queen. Or the witch?
The Wicked Witch, or whatever she was, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. That is one movie that does not get enough credit.
No, That's true.
And
I agree with you on that one.
and you know what's funny is that it's not on Disney Channel at all.
No.
If you want to check it out, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
You
But
buy
see,
it,
this is the thing though. None is that there was also this one interview. Again, I'm not going to take much time, but because I'm pretty sure we ranted the ears off everyone. But I'm sure majority of people agree.
I do have one question. Just one question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Why would you just put in animated dwarfs when you have real life fucking dwarfs that
That's
are
one thing.
around?
I mean, you've got they are talented as well. It's not that, you know what,
Yeah.
they need to have the opportunity. Secondly, why would the real, the person Rachel that's playing Snow White, why would you mentally destroy your movie by talking about changing the movie, about how you should get paid from just because you're in the bloody outfit, so you should get paid for every single second that the movie is being streamed online? Be gracious, be humble,
Yeah.
be thankful. You're not the biggest star. You, like I said, I don't even see anything that you come into that's really been a huge thing.
I haven't even heard
Gracious,
of her.
be thankful. You know what? Thank everyone for watching it, but no, don't go down this path where you think that these kind of interviews will excite people, because no, it's become the most hated trailer.
The one interview I remember her saying is that the girl of Snow White, being rescued by the handsome prince, whatever, is weird. That's what she says. It's weird. And okay, to a certain degree, I understand, because it is a little weird for a guy to go along to a girl that he doesn't know, kiss her, and wake her up. I can get that part. But it's still a story. Okay, expand on that story.
It was a beautiful concept back then. We've just evolved our thinking, whether you want to say good or bad, that's a different scenario. Right, but this is why I feel that Disney needs to seriously take a look at what they're doing wrong, because this is just going to end up killing Disney badly. Let us know, guys, down in the comments, what was your opinion about, all these topics, from Star Wars to Marvel to Disney, in this woke era that flopped badly. We would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Were you happy with the decisions they took? Were you happy with the movies that they came out with? Or what was your opinion in general?
Well, the bad thing is, too, is because everyone who follows me and knows my channel, I'm gaming all the way. The problem is, too, is we have this wokeness has been transforming into games as well. And here's the thing. Square Enix popped out Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Love the game. It's fantastic. But do you know how many people tried to get it canceled for what they shown at Costa del Sol? And they're thinking, oh, it's wokeness. Like they were really hitting at it. It's like, oh, this scene can't be in here. It's like, get out of here. Leave it alone. Anyways, that's my rant. I might continue this later on.
We'll be back, guys, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back next week with another, very aggressive topic, because this is fun.
Yes,
it is so fun. But like I said, we look forward to seeing you next week. Like I said, do leave us a comment down below. What did you like about this one, and what did you not like? Because we always listen to you and we adapt accordingly. And do hit us with a like and a subscribe if you haven't, as it greatly helps our channel. We'll see you next week with the great and amazing Nun. You got the bunny. This is the Double Trouble Podcast, sponsored by the Follow the X. We look forward to seeing you. Have a great day. Stay safe. Follow the X.